Your mama set you up to fail in your relationships. Let's talk about it. If your mama is a narcissist, you will know for sure, because anytime you bring a man around or mention that you potentially like someone or could, be dating or even getting into a relationship, she's gonna fucking hate on you. She might pretend like she's actually happy for you, but deep down inside, your mother is hoping and praying that that man whoops your ass and cheats on you. See, if your mama is miserable in her own relationships, if she doesn't have a man, or the man that she has ain't about shit, or she's been with nothing but ain't shit ass men all her entire life, why would she want to see her daughter in a successful relationship? Better yet, she'll be even more happy if you get locked down with a baby by a piece of shit man. Now you're a single mother stuck with an abusive man, and your mother's sitting back enjoying the show. Your mother don't want to see you in no healthy relationship because she'd never been in one. Your mama is your biggest hater. And you know what's even worse? Don't let your mama connect with your abusive baby daddy and she actually like that dude. You know what she gonna do? When you trying to get away from him, when you trying to set boundaries so you could co-parent, your mama will go behind your back and she'll be on the phone with your baby daddy. Your mama will sleep with your baby father. Your mama will sleep with your husband. Your mama will sleep with your boyfriend just to cut your throat. That's how much she's competing with you. Your mama is a female narcissist. Any mother that treats her daughter as if she's a side chick competing to take her man, your mama don't like you, honey, and don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with you. Your mother hates herself. And instead of your mama dealing with her issues from her childhood, she rather project and take it out on you. She has made you the scapegoat of her life. So it is your assignment, in her eyes, it is your assignment to take the brunt of her abuse. And when it comes to men, how dare you have a healthy relationship? How dare you have a good man to spoil you and do nice things for you? She don't want to see no man doing nothing nice for you. Nah, your mama's a hater. You're going to have to cut her off if you plan on getting with a healthy man and having a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, because she will destroy that shit. And she'll try to flirt with your nigga behind your back, and she'll try to fuck him and break y'all shit up. And she'll try to get on his side, and y'all, if you're going through any type of divorce battle or child custody, your mother will help this dude team up and come against you. Your mama is a fucking narcissist. I wrote this book, I Can't Stand My Mother. It's available on Amazon. All you got to do is go to the link in my bio, click on it, and it will take you to Amazon and you can buy this book. Get the fuck away from your hating ass mama.
You talk at me, you don't talk to me. No, you're too sensitive. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. I don't like that. Like, I'm not going to be on no. No, you don't know how to understand. You don't take what people say to you and you don't be like, okay, well, I did this, I'm sorry. You don't know how to apologize. You be like, okay, well, get over it. Like, oh, well.
Why did they get physical that day, though? I'm still not understanding why they get physical.
Because when she stood up, she was talking to Buck. You know what I mean? Don't get up and start bucking at me.
You would hit me. Like, what do you?
Juicy, I did not tell you that I would hit you.
Yes, you did. You kept threatening me.
Well, guess what? Get out of my face then.
Girl.
Have you ever noticed how a narcissistic mum often seems to hate their daughter's body? Now, narcissistic mums, they may fat shame. They may try and control your diet. This could be overfeeding, underfeeding. This could be putting you on certain types of diet. Maybe they will dress you funny. Maybe they will dress you like overly sexual, something inappropriate. Or maybe they'll dress you to look ugly. Maybe they will cut your hair so that it's unattractive. Maybe they'll comment on, who you are hanging around with, look, who you're trying to attract. Or maybe they'll say you'll never attract anyone because you smell, you have poor hygiene. Anything like that is very common from a narcissistic mother. Now you see, for a narcissistic mother, you may function as a sort of pride for them. So they may be going about telling you, look at me, my daughter is exactly like me. Or the narcissistic mother could be embarrassed by you and say, oh, look, I don't want to be seen with you. Can you dress better? You're so embarrassing. Or the narcissistic mum could see you as kind of a competition. They say that your body isn't as good as me. When I was your age, I was a lot better looking than you, and they're judging you. They're telling you that you're not good enough. Maybe they will reject you. Maybe they'll exploit you and try and say, look, hey, you need to dress like this so you can attract a rich man. Anything like that is very common from a narcissistic mother. Now, the reason that narcissistic mothers do this is because not just because they really hate their body, it's because they hate their own body, they hate themselves. Now, when they're doing this to your body, it's because they actually see your body as their body. Literally, your body is an extension of theirs. So in their world, this is all because she isn't happy with her own body. You are an extension of her body. You are hers. There is no difference. You are just an object. You're not an own individual human being with your own needs and thoughts and wants who she can kind of help to coax. You represent her. You represent a threat to her. Yeah? You represent a distorted projection of how she sees herself. So as a daughter, as someone who's existing as an object, you're only in relation to her. You're not an individual with your own valid, complex identity, your own traits, your own feelings, your own preferences. She has no boundaries with you because she doesn't see you as any different.
Narcissistic mothers do not do well when their child starts to develop autonomy. And narcissistic mothers view their children, particularly daughters, as extensions of themselves. Therefore, your opinions, your values, your behaviors, your attitude, everything, your interests, your hobbies, the way you dress, down to your taste in music, the food you like, your weight, all of that is an extension of them. So it needs to be in line with their world, how they function. Any deviation from that, any sense of autonomy down to just you having a normal human disagreement at 7 years old is viewed by a narcissistic mother as abandonment, as rejection. They'll mask it as disrespect. You're being rude. You're being obnoxious. I'm your mother. You don't talk to me like that. And really what they're saying is you are not allowed to be your own person. You are mine. I control you. You are an extension of myself. You're an accessory.
Let's talk a little bit about mothers not liking their daughters. When a mother does not like their daughter or they're jealous of their daughter, I don't care how much she try to hide it. I don't care how much people try to convince her that it's not true. It is something about that daughter will feel that in her spirit. She feels it. She feels it when she's around her mother. She feels it when she's around her other family members. She feels that, hey, why is she treating them different than she treat me? Why does it seem like she gives them more attention, affection, or love than she gives me? Why does it seem as if she's rejecting me constantly for something I did not do? Mothers not liking their daughters. A mother that does not like their daughter is very narcissistic, selfish, and is the spirit of Jezebel when a mother can birth a child that she is jealous of. That is very toxic. Can you imagine the household can you imagine the pain and the trauma that a daughter would have to endure to be raised by someone who, 1, does not like them, 2, they're jealous of them, and 3, because they don't like them and they're jealous of them, they want to break their spirit. That is what narcissistic moms do. When they have a jealousy towards their daughter, their goal, maybe they voice it, even if they don't voice this, their goal is to break them down. They want to break what's in them.
Hey, if you're the daughter of a narcissistic mother, this one's for you. Your success will trigger her. And as a result, she might withhold love, praise, and affection. She's probably brainwashed you to believe that you can't be authentic because that's not safe. I need you to remember, you deserve love. You deserve praise. You deserve affection. There are people out there rooting for you. And I need you to tell that inner child inside of you that she is going to be okay. Follow for more healing content.
Want to hear one of my top tips for coping with having a narcissistic or toxic mother? This one might not be so easy to hear, but it is incredibly important, so please listen. Stop supersizing her. Stop expecting her to be more than she's actually capable of being. So often our suffering is coming from expecting our mothers to be more than they're actually able to be. They are not capable of changing. They have a limited capacity to see that they are causing so many of the problems. They only see themselves as the victim, and they cannot shift out of this mindset. And while you keep expecting them to change, you're only causing yourself pain. So stop. Accept she is the way she is and she isn't going to change. And instead of focusing on her, focus on you. Focus on your healing. You're what really matters here. You're the only thing that you have control over. So focus on you.
I want you to know that when you're raised by a narcissistic mother, the way that you were treated is not a reflection of who you are as a person or who you was as a child. As a child, you was innocent and you required needs from your mother that just weren't met. And it's these unmet needs now that have transitioned into a trauma response that you're experiencing on a daily basis.
Things narcissistic mothers say, translated into English: I'm your mother and you need to treat me with some respect.
I've tried now 5 times to gaslight you, and it's not working. What's wrong with you? Are you broken? You're convinced you did nothing wrong, even though I'm trying to convince you that you're a bad person. This isn't how I trained you. You think the truth is more important than your mother. I'm out of ways to gaslight you. So hopefully this one-liner makes you feel guilty enough to take my side on whatever irrelevant bullshit I'm badgering you over.
Well, there you have it.
3 things a narcissistic mother does to traumatize you to your core. Number 1, a narcissistic mother acts like a whole different person in front of others and pretends she's all peace, love and light. It is hard to pick your jaw up off the floor watching her put on an act. Sometimes you get comments from people like, "You're really lucky to have a mom like that." This behavior traumatizes you as a kid to your core because she is nice and sweet to people but cruel and nasty to you behind the closed doors. It makes you angry and her friends wonder, why are you so unfriendly? Why are you so disobedient? Number 2, when anything bad happens to you or anyone she knows, instead of being supportive, she makes the entire situation about her. She also creates a rift in the family and makes people pick roles as per her convenience. Number 3, she frames you and sets you up to put you down. She demeans you or does something that she knows will get a reaction out of you, and then she can pretend to be a victim. As a child, you always remain a shadow of her because she gets all the attention, all the care.
I'm a narcissistic mother. Of course, I secretly would rather see you struggle than do well for yourself. The more you struggle, the more you have to rely on me, which means I get to control you. I'm a narcissistic mother. Of course, I had children to cater to my ego. The purpose of having kids is to teach blind obedience to me, not for them to be their own people. I'm their ruler. I'm a narcissistic mother. Of course you have to earn my love. I'm a narcissistic mother. Of course I've been emotionally unavailable your whole life. I didn't become a mom to meet your needs. I became a mom for you to meet mine. I'm a narcissistic mother. I can only love you for who I want you to be, not for who you are. As long as you do as I say, stick beside me in my toxic behavior and participate in the fantasy I've created in my head, you have nothing to worry about, my love. I'm a narcissistic mother. Of course, I'd rather impress strangers and give the idea of a perfect family instead of actually having a healthy family dynamic. I don't really care about having a healthy family dynamic. As long as I get to post and keep up my false image, I'm fine. I'm a narcissistic mother. Of course, I play my children against each other and make them compete for my attention. I can never let them have a close relationship and leave me out the middle. Never. I'm a narcissistic mother. Of course I'm going to be a seemingly loving grandmother, but only to one grandkid. I have to use the same manipulative tactics I used on my kids when they were younger. How else am I going to get them to compete for my love? I'm a narcissistic mother. I'll never apologize for the way I treated you, but I'll blame you for the way that you reacted.
A narcissistic mother has a profoundly damaging effect on her daughter, inflicting serious psychological trauma on their child as she grows up. The impact on the children lasts well into adulthood. When they struggle with issues such as making decisions, low self-esteem, lack of trust in others, and difficulty establishing healthy relationships with partners or friends. A narcissistic mother will try to control her daughter's decisions, feelings, and behaviors. She will offer unsolicited advice, criticize her daughter's accomplishments, and put her down. Narcissistic mothers may manipulate their daughters by playing mind games, pitting her children against one another, or trying to make them feel bad about themselves. They may try to control their daughter's appearance or body image. Ultimately, the goal is to instill an unwavering and unthinking obedience and loyalty in their daughter. This is achieved at the cost of teaching them independence, self-confidence, and self-esteem. She may be dismissive of her daughter's feelings or gaslight her by saying that her feelings are unjustified. This leads to the daughter feeling invalidated, invisible, and unheard. The narcissist is also likely to hurt her daughter in other thoughtless ways, such as making critical comments and making it clear that she is not interested in her daughter's success. The result is the child feels isolated, rejected, and insecure in her relationship with her mother. The lack of acceptance from this mother leads the child to continually question their self-worth, resulting in insecurity and damaged self-esteem. The daughter feels that she can never make her mother happy.
If your grown-ass mother is throwing a tantrum, she's an adult, she's throwing a tantrum, you let her know that it's not okay to throw a freaking tantrum because she's not getting her way or blah blah blah. You set a boundary on that. And if she keeps doing it, you set a consequence. I'm not going to talk to you if you talk to me that way. I'm not going to speak to you if you keep throwing a tantrum. And if she tries to physically assault you because you are not giving in when she is throwing a tantrum, that is not okay. It is not okay for an adult, grown-ass mother to be physically assaulting her daughter. Like, what? In what world? I know it happens a lot. And what is even more interesting is that the daughters that are being physically assaulted, adult daughters, feel bad if they have to involve the cops or something. Look at that. Once again, they feel responsible for their mothers, yet they're being physically assaulted. That is not okay. We need to change this dynamic. In what world is it okay for a mother to physically assault her adult daughter? Like, what? Call the cops.
I was raised by a narcissistic mother who was a hardcore Christian and extremely abusive. Through my childhood years, I was badly abused by her emotionally, physically, financially, in every other way that you can think of. And my entire life as a child, a teenager, and as a young adult, I tried by all means possible to make my mom love me. Because this was something that I never felt from her. And the funny part was, I saw her give the love that I wanted for myself to my siblings and other people. Due to all of that, I then developed a narcissistic mother wound. So over the years, besides of me feeling unlovable, I started feeling defective. Like I was a fraud and I was distorted. So I would feel that if people truly knew who I was, and then they would reject me and abandon me the same way my mother did. Being raised by a narcissistic mother, you feel that you are confused most of your life. Because the same person that was supposed to nurture you and protect you was actually traumatizing you. At the same time, she was the cause of the pain you went through growing up. And the messed up part about it is that you had to go to her because she was your mother. This type of mother wound actually causes you to think in black and white terms, like it's all or nothing. Because you had to separate the abusive aspect of your mother and the nurturing. So instead of thinking that you had a bad mother, you would think that you were a bad child and you were defective and there was something wrong with you. Or maybe you were just like, you know what, I don't care, I'm bad, so to hell with it. And you started rebelling. You also focus a lot on external validation. You might be a perfectionist. Even if you get it, even if you work extremely hard, you still feel that you're not good enough or you're not doing enough. You could also be feeling nothing. You're feeling numb because you did not get validation from your mother. You might actually have everything that you need in your life, but then you still feel like a complete fraud. You might also hold people at a very high standard, and if they don't meet that standard that you're holding them for, you will completely cut them out of your life. So everything about you just becomes very black or white. It can also mean that you're afraid of being vulnerable because being vulnerable as a child meant you were in danger. And you also have major trust issues. You don't feel safe with anybody. You don't trust anyone because you also did not feel safe or trust your own mother. You also might be very self-sufficient and very independent because you had to rely on yourself. Now, if any of these things resonate or you identify with them, you need to click the link on my bio and join my program.
Now, a narcissist usually has 3 categories that their children fall into, because not all of them discard all of their children. So the first one is they discard them. The second one is they have a scapegoat. That child becomes a scapegoat because that child sticks up for themselves and realizes the narcissist's manipulative, calculative, arrogant, grandiose traits. So they leave. They become the scapegoat and they get out. The next is the golden child. Now, the golden child, most of the time, is the most easy to manipulate. And I hate to say it, but that golden child has a very, very high chance of turning out to be just like the narcissist.
You really said something here, because a lot of narcissistic people become parents because children are easier to manipulate and control. Children want to appease their parents, especially when they're young. They literally look to their parents for guidance, safety, learning. You see how a narcissist would thrive in that and how easy it is to take advantage? A narcissistic parent will buy you things but won't tell you they love you or be emotionally available and show you genuine affection because they're not gifting you things for you. It's for them. They'll love bomb you, like do a bunch of things for you as a means to reel you back in, then weaponize those things as a means to control you or keep holding it over your head. Growing up with a narcissistic parent can really mess up your head so bad. It's the trauma that goes unspoken because society tells you, but that's your mom. You only get one mom. You know how your mom is. You should be used to the way your mom acts by now. But then you go to therapy. You become exposed to and begin engaging in healthy friendships, and you have a healthy relationship. You begin to recognize the difference between dysfunctional and healthy functioning family dynamics. You differentiate yourself. You become a person with boundaries, your own values, you're healing, and you've stepped into you, and now there's a problem. You're no longer enmeshed, and you begin to realize just how toxic she is. And she's spiraling because this version of you doesn't fit her fantasy. The control button doesn't work. It's okay to grieve the loss of the kind of mother you never had.
You can't say moms are narcissistic. It's so mean. I've had people's heads exploding in my comments for days now, so I'm just going to quickly break down why I know for a fact that my mother was a narcissist, and this is something you can use to tell if your mom might be a narcissist too. We know grandiosity, and we know the vulnerable narcissist and the victimhood and all that kind of stuff, but here's the really big giveaway that made me know that my mom was a narcissist. My mom was aware of her behavior. She had gone to therapy for years. She had been told by multiple professionals that she had to take multiple kinds of medications to keep herself in any kind of healthy state around other human beings. The walls of our home were lined with therapy books, specifically childhood trauma books, childhood development books, psychology books of every kind. In fact, my mom could tell you anything about the human brain and how trauma affects it. She was aware of her behavior, but she refused to take care of it. She refused to manage. Instead of going, my childhood messed me up, I should fix that so I'm better for my kid, my mother went, my childhood messed me up, it's everyone else's problem now. And that's what a narcissist does. That's the big difference. They know who they are. That's why they hide it.
What's an opinion you have that might piss some people off?
That there are so many mothers who are so male identified that they coddle their sons but treat their daughters like crap.